This Roborock will mop and vacuum your floors, empty itself, and even clean itself. Roborock was kind enough to send me this vacuum for review, and I've got some opinions about it, and they're definitely my own. First, we've got the Rock Dock, and while its name might sound like a 70s dive bar, it actually makes your cleaning a whole lot easier. First off, it's not just a charging station, it's much more. It automatically fills up your vacuum with water. All you need to do is fill up the water tank. So when your robot returns to the dock, it'll determine what to do automatically, all based on an AI, and maybe my cat. It might empty the dirt into this tank, which has a bag, and this bag can last a few months. Next, if it's mopped enough of the floor, it backs into the dock and empties the dirt water into this tank. Next, if it's done with the session, it'll wash and clean the mop with this brush that rotates at over 700 RPM,
starting to wash the mop.
And finally, the dock will clean itself, like my cat. Okay, the robot uses a roller and my cat uses his tongue. But wait, if the cleaning isn't done, it'll fill the water tank back up and head back out into your house and continue until it's done. Now, I'm convinced a time traveler came from 2099 and left this vacuum in my house. But that's just the dock. It's when the robot starts to navigate, that's when things get a little bit controversial, if you get the picture. You see, the Roborock S7 Max Ultra had a camera, but they don't make the Max V series anymore. And that camera had some people a little concerned that a hacker might be spying on them. But you see, the camera in the S7 Max V was used for navigation, and you could live stream video. Actually, a really cool feature I use to spy on my pets. But they removed the camera from future models, and this S7 Max Ultra uses LiDAR to navigate, and it's still pretty good at detecting obstacles if they're reasonably big. It uses something they call reactive tech obstacle avoidance. Now, it's not perfect, but it is fine with toys and shoes. But if you have pet poop, maybe only use the vacuum when you're home, if you know what I mean. My friend had an unfortunate incident where he had skid marks throughout his apartment. And so far, in using it for over a week, it's never gotten stuck. And that's pretty impressive, and it certainly is a lot better than my Eufy, which got stuck constantly. Let's say I wanted to clean a certain part of my room like a carpet. It has this pin and go feature on the app where all I need to do is put a pin on the app and the robot's gonna go there. You can see it went directly to the target. And you can set it to spot clean. Now, some people have said that a robot vacuum is only good if you have one level in your house, but this will actually map up to 4 levels of your home. The app is pretty powerful, and you can configure schedules, send the robot to clean specific areas, use more water, use less water. You can configure it pretty much to your needs. Now, the app is great, but I've always been a little bit skeptical of how good a robot vacuum actually is at vacuuming and mopping. We performed our pickup tests where we dumped 40 grams of sand on hardwood and then on carpet. On the hardwood, it picked up 100%. And on the carpet, it actually picked up over 100%, which is because I probably hadn't vacuumed that carpet in a while. So that's actually pretty impressive. Part of the reason is that this vacuum has 5.5 kilopascals of suction, which is actually pretty high for a robot vac. And it does a really good job with hair. I scattered some pet hair and also put some 6-inch rave hair on the floor, and you can see this red rubber brush roll did an excellent job keeping all the tangles off. It didn't get tangled at all. Again, really impressive. The edge brush does a pretty good job of cleaning up along baseboards, but it's not the top of the class. You can program it to clean the carpets first so that the mop isn't wet when it goes over the carpets. And when it encounters a carpet, it actually lifts up the mop. And what's even more clever is that when it's on the carpet, it will increase the suction to maximum, and you can also program it to do another pass at the carpet at the end of your job. This thing's pretty clever. The mop has a unique scrubbing system called VibraRise that vibrates the mop pad 3,000 times per minute, and it combines it with pressure. Now, I've always wondered how a robot vacuum can clean a floor without using much water, but in my experience, it's actually pretty effective at small, dried stains like little bits of coffee. But what I care more about is getting pet hair off the floor, and the mop really helps with that. The tank holds about 200 milliliters, which is enough for a house of about 3,000 square feet. Yes, I feel like we're living in the future, but I found out a thing that no one really talks about with robot vacuums. This is truly an amazing vacuum, but there are 4 things you need to do every 2 weeks if you want to have the thing maintain its optimal performance. First, you need to clean the water filter. It's pretty simple. Second, you need to clean the dust filter. You need to check the rubber rollers on the bottom to make sure hair isn't tangled up, and you probably want to wash out the water containers. And every couple months you want to replace the dust bag, and probably every 6 months you want to replace the mop pad. And these are things that no one ever wants to talk about because people don't want to do any work. That's why you're buying a robot vacuum. So while they're not completely maintenance free, a little bit of maintenance every couple weeks, I think, is a really good trade-off to keep your vacuum operating in optimal conditions. The app gives you so much power and flexibility over how you use the vacuum. You can set no-go zones. You can also set invisible walls. When you're cleaning your floor, you can define 5 different levels of suction power from quiet to max. And you can also set how much intensity of water flow you get from mild to intense. And you can set the route to be standard or faster. You can also edit the surface of your room. So if you have hardwood and you want it to go in the same direction as the hardwood so you don't get any possible scratches, you can simply edit the floor type and change the direction of the hardwood. When you want to move it to a different floor, you don't need to set the map. It's just going to automatically recognize where it is, and you can tell it to go to a specific room or a specific zone. You can have it do specific routines after meals. You can set it to clean the dining room, and of course you can have it vacuum when you're not home. Now personally, I'm not too worried about someone hacking into my S7 Max V with the camera. And that's because hackers are after valuable information. They're not interested in what I'm doing around the house. And one of the things I don't like doing around the house is cleaning, which is why I think the Roborock S7 Max Ultra is a great high-end vacuum that really takes care of a lot of that stuff for me. Thanks for nerding out with us today.